The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the customs post. He said to him, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him. While he was at table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat with Jesus and his disciples. The Pharisees saw this and said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" He heard this and said, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do. Go and learn the meaning of the words, 'I desire mercy, not sacrifice.' I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
Welcome, my dear brothers and sisters, to the minor Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary of Manaoag. Where are you now in your life? Saan po ba kayo ngayon sa buhay nyo? Dito ba sa taas? Up here? Or dito po sa baba? Down here? Many of us perhaps are having the best of their life. Siguro, karamihan sa ating dito are experiencing the peak of their success. We are having good relationships. We have achieved all of our dreams. Everything seems to be very fine. We have a good status in our life. In short, life is good and we are happy. But most of us, my dear brothers and sisters, are experiencing the difficult moments of our lives right now. Broken relationship, living a sinful life, almost giving up. In short, life is hard. There seems to be no way out. But my dear brothers and sisters, there is always hope. There is always redemption. Listen, there is always hope. There is always redemption. God will meet us in whatever situation we are. Today po, one person can teach us a lesson about hope and redemption. So this person, whose name also was mentioned in the Gospel today. Sino po siya? Siya ay Saint Matthew, San Mateo. Si San Mateo po, prior to his encounter with Jesus, he worked as a tax collector in Capernaum. Alam niyo po, during the time of Jesus, ito po mga tax collectors were considered as public enemies. They were labeled as sinners. Bakit po? They were thought of to be very greedy. They demanded from the people to pay more from what was required. And aside from that, itong mga tax collectors, they worked for the Romans. Yung mga Romans are mga colonizers sa mga Israelites, sa mga Jews. So here was Matthew, a Jew, a tax collector, working for the colonizers, for the invaders. So that's why, sa mata ng mga fellow Jews, mga kasama ni San Mateo, si Matthew, people like Matthew, tax collectors, were considered traitors, public enemies, sinners. But everything changed when Matthew met Jesus. When the society looked at people like Matthew with the eyes of anger and resentment, Jesus looked at Matthew with the eyes of mercy, with the eyes of forgiveness. When the society would say to the people like Matthew, "Stay away from us," Jesus would say to Matthew, "Follow me, follow me." My dear brothers and sisters, God can draw straight with crooked lines. God can draw straight with crooked lines. He can turn our dark past into a bright future. He can use our stories of failures, of sins, into stories of hope and redemption. That is why po, para sa akin po, itong conversion story of Matthew is a very fascinating story. Bakit po? Deep within the heart of Matthew, he always had this longing to be seen at least by someone with the eyes of love, with the eyes of mercy and compassion. But the society, yung mga tao sa paligid niya, the people around him, could not answer this longing. Because the society always looked at people like Matthew as sinners, as criminals, as enemies. Only Jesus saw Matthew with the eyes of mercy, with the eyes of compassion. So now, what becomes of Matthew? Matthew, who used to work as a tax collector, who used to keep the records of people's taxes, now had become a renewed person. He was an evangelist. He kept the record of God's love, mercy, and compassion to his people. So, my dear brothers and sisters, the story of Matthew can be your story and my story too. Never let our failures, our sinfulness define us, but let God's mercy and compassion transform us.